Tesla got off to an amazing start this morning, was up to 323 on solid news over the weekend, very good news over the weekend. But then all of tech and more or less all of equities started down, but the tech in particular kind of at a very rapid rate, and Tesla seems to have gotten caught up in that downward move. No clear reason for it. There's been some more tariff announcements today, but I haven't actually had time yet to go look at those tariff announcements or to see why tech should be falling apart quite so much. But it does not appear that Tesla is impacted directly by this move, rather seems to be caught up in the general downward direction. Anyway, lots of news this morning. Let's go. Elon Musk said he just left the Tesla design studio, the most epic demo ever by the end of the year. And then he repeats, ever. Lots of speculation over whether that might be the Roadster. There was some conversations over the weekend about the Roadster with people saying, will it be a flying car? And Elon saying, I forget exactly the words he used, but something on the order of, hey, you don't know. It could be. Anyway, so don't know whether it's the Roadster. Don't know whether he's talking about the next up level for Optimus, which he did kind of comment that Optimus is doing very, very well right now. Level 2 can do all kinds of great things, and level 3 or the next iteration will be even more amazing. So might be Optimus, might be the Roadster, might be something completely new. In that he has mentioned that something else in robotics is going to be coming along. So, and it could be, I don't think that sounds like a solar panel, though. Probably not a solar panel, but a drone is a possibility. Okay, let's go ahead. CNBC has this. Elon Musk on Monday said he does not support a merger between XAI and Tesla. Sorry, sad to hear that, because that's what I would like to see. As questions swirl over the future relationship of the electric automaker and artificial intelligence company. Of course, the merger, his reasons for not liking the idea of a merger probably come down to SEC involvement. That would be understandable. He hates the idea now of any of his companies being public, although he continues to say that maybe someday Starlink will be spun off as a public company. X account Bull Street Bets posted an open question to Tesla investors on the social media site, asking if they support a merger. And that's where Elon Musk responded with a no. That statement comes as the tech billionaire contemplates the future relationship and possible integration between his multiple businesses. Overnight, Musk had suggested that Tesla will be holding a shareholder vote. He doesn't give a specified time, but we would guess November 6th. On whether the automaker should invest in XAI. So that would, be a great thing. Everybody seems to be, there's a poll right now on X asking the question, and it's running something on the order, if I remember right, 81% are saying that they would support that move. That sounds about like the same percent that we're supporting Elon all along the way in terms of on X. That and even the vote, I think, turned out to be about 81%. Let's see. CERN Basher says this. He says Tesla's Robotaxi service area expanded. Finally, it didn't happen over the weekend, but it was announced at the end of the weekend, or maybe this morning. Tesla's Robotaxi service was expanded. He says, CERN says we need to not lose the significance of what's been done here. Stephen Mark Ryan had earlier proposed a very unconventional and humorous shape for the expansion of the Robotaxi geofenced area in Austin, in as much as Stephen Mark Ryan felt that the current shape kind of resembled a male part. Yes. It offered a resemblance to some part of male genitalia. Anyway, he says just after, so he had recommended that the change would extend, so to speak, the male genitalia to look like the entire, all of that important junk, so to speak. Just 17 days later, Tesla implemented an expansion that very closely matched his suggestion. While that shape itself sparked widespread amusement and memes across social media, the deeper implication is far more substantial. Rapid deployment capability, the quick turnaround from suggestion to live implementation underscores Tesla's ability to dynamically adjust and scale their robotaxi operations without significant delays. This contrasts with a competitor like Waymo, which often requires extensive mapping. Tesla's vision-only approach allows the software-driven updates that can redefine service boundaries almost on demand. Flexibility in geofencing. He says, by expanding to any shape at once, Tesla proves their system isn't rigidly constrained by preordained grids or infrastructure limitations. This adaptability is key for navigating complex urban environments, integrating user feedback, and optimizing for demand hotspots. In Austin's case, the expansion roughly doubled the original service area from 20 square miles to about 40 square miles, covering more residential and commercial zones while maintaining safety protocols. Strategic and marketing wins. He says, beyond functionality, this move serves as viral marketing, generating buzz and engagement on platforms like X. It aligns with Tesla's history of leveraging community input to foster loyalty among investors and enthusiasts. It also signals confidence in FSD's maturity, potentially accelerating the regulatory approvals for broader rollouts. And those are all, of course, critical for the continued expansion. I did not note who this was. Oh, I think it was Market Watch. Market Watch has this. Wood's ARK Innovation, the ARKK fund ETF, on Friday purchased 45,761 shares of Tesla, and the ARK Next Generation Internet, ARKW ETF, bought 13,944 Tesla shares, according to Wood's daily disclosures. So Kathy buying back in again. The move by Wood and her ARK Invest ETFs comes a day before the Wall Street Journal reported that Musk's SpaceX has agreed to invest $2 billion in XAI as Musk rolled out the latest version of the Grok chat box. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, Musk earlier this year merged XAI with X, his social media platform formerly known as Twitter. The merger valued X at $113 billion. The SpaceX investment is part of a $5 billion equity fundraise announced by Morgan Stanley last month that would make the company worth $200 billion, or valuation of $200 billion. And by the way, there are some people that are speculating that the purchase by SpaceX might have been earlier, not part of the new raise. When it comes to Tesla involvement in XAI, Musk on X over the weekend said no to a question about whether supporting a merger. However, said he'd be okay with the $5 billion investment. He says, it's not up to me. It was up to me. Tesla would have invested in XAI long ago. We will have a shareholder vote on the matter. In 2024, Musk asked social media users about the $5 billion suggestion. Majority said yes. Musk is also integrating XAI Grok's chat box into Tesla vehicles. This is a very, very, very big deal, as you know, in my opinion, which would have been worth the $10 share price increase this morning, which all by itself, not counting all the other news we just went over. With the AI feature availability in Tesla vehicles delivered on or after July 12th, according to the Tesla website. Tesla stock advanced more than 1% prior to the opening bell on Monday, after edging down about 0.6% last week. The company reports second quarter earnings on July 23rd, as we know. Tesla's also expanded its geofence area, as we know. Ashok Alaswamy, Tesla vice president of AI, shared videos on X earlier Monday of an oddly circumscribed expansion. We just talked about that. All right, so all that's just additional. The stock rallied from late April to late May, in part because Musk said he was backing away from politics and the Trump administration. Now, if you haven't noticed, things are popping at all companies. I mean, I'm sorry, I was the one who said Elon could handle additional jobs and it wouldn't take that much away from the company. I'm sorry, completely wrong. Everything is popping. Everything is going crazy. This is very exciting times. We hope that it continues. The stock initially soared after the Robotaxi launch. However, overall Tesla stock is now down 3% since June 22nd service release. Tesla stock has formed a new base on a weekly chart with a traditional 367.71 buy point. That would be the new buy point, 367.71, according to Market Surge Chart Analysis. As at Friday's stock market close, Tesla stock was up 32% since April 22nd Q1 conference call, lifted by Robotaxi bets. Shares are down about 22% for the year to date. All right, then we have this. Tesla announces that Robotaxi will extend to a larger service area. We know that. Walking directions to the pickup and to your final destination, after your final destination. And then search results show if the destination closes near your arrival time. So if you put a destination in and the bar that you want to go to is going to close before you get there or right after you get there, it'll let you know, hey, by the way. And then finally, it will edit your destination after you can edit your destination after you book, which would be completely different than any of the other services that are out there. My guess is that there are hundreds of things like this that will be added. And of course, all by over-the-air updates. XAI now has companion mode. This is it's an animate. Okay, wait, now listen to me. If you haven't looked at your Grok yet, and I was unable to find this morning on Grok, so I can't tell you about it, but they did have some animated versions of what we're talking about. So you go to Grok mode. Normally, you could either type it in and it'll type back. You can talk to it and it can talk back. But now it's going to have various animated avatars that you can choose from. I think there's 3 so far. And one of them is this sexy little kind of a waitress dancer type lady. Anyway, she's supposed to be really sexy. And she talks, now you can have a conversation with her instead of just with the air. So I think this is huge. I think it's going to be great. I would hope that they would come up with dozens of these avatars for you to choose between. You could have different avatars for different conversations. It's a lot of fun, and we'll separate them from all the competition. Many people are saying that Grok is now much more fun, much more interesting, and way better in terms of information than the competition. This is Randy Kirk, by the way. Stephen, did I tell you that Stephen W. joined Patreon the other day? Well, you should too. And Stephen W. said that he had been a fan of the channel for a year or more, and he just thought, hey, it's time to help Randy out. Anyway, hit like and subscribe. Later on today, we changed it around. It looks like it will be a normal day with Larry Goldberg at around 4-ish and Brian Wang at around 7-ish. No, sorry, Brian White. Brian White, his travel plans changed, so he will be on as normal tonight. That could change still, but anything. It's all subject to change. On the earnings side, according to Wall Street Journal, I think I'm not sure. Yes, it's twice now. I forgot to mention who. Yeah, I'm not sure. This could have been Market Watch too. It's one or the other. On the earnings side, all the major U.S. banks will report results this week with renewed investor enthusiasm about IPO and M&A, along with Wells Fargo's WFC freedom from a decade of more stringent regulatory restrictions likely to feature. So basically, if you don't know, under the Biden administration, they were very, very, they were talking about lots and lots of, they were making problems for people when it came to mergers and acquisitions and when it came to new IPOs. And so nobody was doing them. There was just like no activity. Well, now all that's back in play because of the new SEC leadership. And so you're getting lots of IPOs, lots of mergers and acquisition activity, and this will help these banks. Also, results from Netflix will kick off earnings among the U.S. tech firms. We will also have Taiwan Semiconductor, TSM, and ASML. They will be their earnings report this week will give us really good indication of what's happening in the AI space. PepsiCo will give us some information on consumers. United Airlines will also be showing earnings this week, along with American Express. We will get tremendous amounts of data this week that will help us know where the market's headed. And it says data from FactSet published July 3rd showed analysts coming into the second quarter are expecting 5% earnings growth on the S&P 500. And he said, should that forecast come through, it would mark the slowest pace of profit growth since the fourth quarter of 2023. But of course, generally speaking, we have seen these estimates get beat, and that don't know whether that'll happen this time or whether it will be about right. Truflation is at 1.71% this morning. That is up a little bit from the 1.68, but close enough. The VIX is at 17.19. It was up much more with, again, the tariff noise probably causing the problem, but now has fallen back down to 17.19, which is a little higher than the 15.8 it was on Friday. Okay, so we still have Tesla up, but just barely, sitting at 313.80, is up 0.09% right now. We got the Dow Jones down 0.16%. That is continuing just to barely, slowly go down a little bit. NASDAQ is also down 0.12. It is flatter, but also trending down right now. And the S&P, same thing, very flat, but slightly down 0.19. Apple is down, Magnificent Seven, Microsoft and NVIDIA are down a little bit, and Google, Amazon, and Meta are up a little bit. You've got the Cathie Woods are similarly mixed, but as I mentioned, a bunch of them are also showing that kind of major downslope that you're seeing on Tesla. No idea why still, but maybe we'll see when we see the rest of these numbers. So let's go ahead and take a look at the bonds first. So bonds are only up 0.4 at 2.73. So that wouldn't seem to be Oh, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. For some reason, they've changed the headline, the header numbers here, 0.6%. So still about right. And let's go on to oil, down 38 cents to 68.07. So that doesn't seem to be of any consequence. Natural gas up a lot, 5.22, but that we expect that for natural gas, still sitting at $3.48. Gold is off $8. That's okay. 33.55. Remembering that our 33.33 is kind of our benchmark. Silver down a little bit, falling back a little bit, kind of back almost exactly to its old all-time high. I mean, it was a 6-year, I forget, very, very long, old all-time high. Copper also backing off a little bit at $5.50, down 1.76. You've got currencies, not much happening with currencies, it says. Very, very thinly mixed. You've got Bitcoin up another 2,000 at 121,138. That's just crazy. By the way, Ether and Solana are also up strongly. Yeah, there you go. So that's what's happening across the board with all of these stocks. Last night, I did something I had been sitting on for a week. I consider it to be very, very important. It's about solar energy. It's about whether Tesla should invest in a gigafactory to make solar panels, which Elon said he's thinking about. I believe that I proved that Tesla can make solar panels in the United States, land them on the floor or on the job site cheaper than China can land them on the job site. Even taking away tariff restrictions, even taking away whatever China might do to supplement, I think Tesla can do it cheaper no matter what, landed on the job site with a good profit. I think I proved that. Take a look. It's right up there if you didn't already check it out. It has a lot of meat in it besides that. Now, I also did something yesterday morning on AI and where we are on AI. And you may have heard me say the other day that Brian Wang and I are going to be doing a book along with multiple, at least 5, maybe 10 different additional authors that will be making contributions to this book on AI. It is going to be an amazing book. So this will give you a little bit of a head start if you want to see kind of where we're going. I talk about where XAI is, but also kind of in general where we are in the whole AI process. I'll put both of those cards up. They both did okay yesterday, but a lot of you did not check those out. If you got time today, I highly recommend you look at both of those. All right, let's look one more time at Tesla to see whether it has managed to make a curve back toward an upward curve. Nope, still no upward curve. I mean, slightly from where it was, but it's still up 0.11 at 313.87. Interesting day. We'll see what happens as the day progresses. That's all I got for you right now. It has been great talking to you.